The ANC in Gauteng is holding its 14th provincial conference in Benoni, where Lebogang Maile is going head-to-head with Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi for the position of provincial chairperson. Politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo is in Benoni. Now, Ziyanda, you have been following the story for a couple of days now. We do know that at 1:30 the voting was supposed to take place. What's the latest coming from Benoni?
Yeah, so voting hasn't gotten underway just yet because the delegates made a request just before the close of plenary to actually start voting at 3 o'clock so that they could go and freshen up. And you'll, of course, understand that they didn't sleep because adoptions were only adopted in the early hours of this morning. So this is where things stand insofar as the processes are concerned. But we did speak to Pulemabe, the national spokesperson, after the nominations process. And he was really speaking about the ballots being prepared by the elections agency, and I think that was just before 12 o'clock. Let's listen to what he had to say.
The Independent Elections Agency has now gone out to prepare ballot papers. They indicated to plenary that in the next hour they should be done with ballots, which now means that after that process, delegates would now be able to start voting. But when that process happens, we'll also have broken into commissions ourselves.
So that's insofar as the processes to prepare for voting get underway. But Katlego, that bite alone tells you that things are going to start moving quite swiftly from here on out. After the voting, then it will be the counting, which also shouldn't take too long. And, you know, another question that was posed to Pulemabe was this issue of timing. Where we are in terms of the program is nowhere near where we should have been at this stage. This is technically the last day of conference. They should be discussing commissions, breaking away into commissions. That hasn't even happened yet. And so, you know, Pulemabe responding then to questions of why the ANC, or whether the ANC has ever considered holding its conferences for longer than 3 days. And again, he has spoken about the fact that they believe that this time frame that they give themselves is correct. Let's hear what he had to say.
Shouldn't we rather have our conferences for a period exceeding 3 days? Because clearly 3 days does not appear to be enough to run a conference of the African National Congress. I mean, we're drawing lessons, and these are matters that the National Executive Committee would have to be seized with to make sure that conferences of the ANC could, without constraining themselves on time, be able to conclude on their business. Important to us is that when delegates leave conferences of the ANC, they must feel enriched, they must feel empowered, they must feel that they have made a contribution.
So that's Pulemabe there speaking about whether or not the ANC should start considering then hosting their conferences over a longer period of time. But of course, this also would have a cost implication, and these questions have arisen once again because of the delays in the program that emanate from the credentials problems that come from these conferences. But as things stand, delegates are about to also have lunch, and hopefully, as we were told earlier on, voting will proceed at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, Ziyanda, it seems that you will be working into the night. We wish you all the best of luck, and that voting and commissions and also just adopting of some of those policies will happen today. That is Ziyanda Ngcobo, our reporter in Benoni, giving us an update on the ANC Gauteng elective conference.